Hello and welcome to the Open Ike Show, where we open up about open mics. I'm your host, Isaac Heiner. This week, our guest is a musician, a multi-instrumentalist, singer and songwriter, Jacob Zuko. Jacob, welcome to the show.
Thanks, good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my first question for everyone is, what do LA open mics mean to you?
Well, it's been how I've found a lot of my friends and played a lot of my shows, I guess. Like, it has been kind of the start, at least, of my whole career. I feel weird saying career because I don't make a living off of music, but it's the thing that I do the most steadily. I've done the most steadily for my entire life. Yeah, I mean, and I also don't like it when people say community because I think that's like a really specific word, but yeah, I guess community is the closest.
Sure.
thing.
I mean, finding like-minded people, potential collaborators, supporters, that kind of stuff. So are you doing anything to support, I know, the community, but are you supporting other artists while also kind of, trying to progress and chase your own success?
Yeah, I mean, I've played in a lot of other bands, and right now I am trying to focus on my own stuff again after kind of not doing that for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like playing with people, and I like to go into shows.
So you said you're not kind of making money with the music. I mean, I'm not making money with my comedy. What are you doing to kind of support yourself?
Food and stuff. Right now I'm a server, and just it's different variations of that.
It's pretty traditional. I mean, it's flexible, and I'm sure you're working with other creatives and all that.
One of my coworkers is a photographer, which is cool, and another one's a singer. And
so how often are you kind of hitting, let's say, mics? Because I met you at a book show. We can chat about that a little bit later. But how often are you going to really just the mics?
It's sporadic now. I don't go as often as I used to when I started out. But now I go when I have a particular need and to be around people, to share new stuff, to be inspired, I guess. I do like to go. Am I allowed to shout out different ones?
Please, absolutely.
The School of Song open mic at the Fable. That's my favorite one right now, and the one I go to most regularly. It's like sort of sporadic, but it's generally twice a month.
Okay.
And I like to go to that one when I can.
It's interesting. I think the key to a mic is consistency, right? I mean, you can host a random show, if you've got a venue, but to actually book it, and kind of stay consistent. So you said it's usually every couple of weeks. Like, how do you know if they cancel or something?
I follow on the Instagram. I mean, it's good to have that, I think.
Yeah, and so I'd get upset if I have a new joke or a song. I do music as well, so if I've got something, and I do mics the same way, as I'm serving a purpose. I want to try out this new thing. I want to focus on this or that. If I'm excited about the show and it doesn't happen, it's such a letdown, And then,
no, totally, yeah.
So what do you do if kind of, or do you ever not get picked out of the bucket or something?
No, yeah. I mean, that's. I think you have to go with the attitude of it would be great if I could play, but it's not it might not happen, and I'll hopefully get something out of this no matter what.
Yeah.
I'd go to just be there and experience the night without having to make it about you, because it's not about you, it's about everyone. And hopefully, I mean, that is the purpose, is to try out some new stuff, but just sort of be open to whatever happens. And then if it doesn't happen at all, I guess now as I get older, when things don't happen, sometimes it's a plus because it's now I have free time, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
So
exactly. So okay, and so I saw you at a book show. I saw you at Porch Fest. So we kind of met and connected. And what was that process? What was the booking process like for that show?
Well, I went to Porch Fest last year. I saw it was happening. I think I heard it through some friends from the open mic convention, and I just went out, hit a few places, hit a couple of porches, and thought it was pretty cool. And then when it rolled around the next year, because I didn't have enough time in finding out about it the previous year, this year when it rolled around, I saw it, they posted, I think I followed them on Instagram. I mean, that's how a lot of this happens. I hate to say it, and I hate that we have to rely on institutions that I don't really actually think are great, but the tool of it is important, I suppose, in the world that we live in, and something that in the past we didn't have. So, yeah, I saw it on Instagram and I just applied. It's like a form you fill out, and I always hate having to describe what my music is, and I had to, and I think I said, because that's what everyone ended up repeating on the material, and it was like bossa nova with a folk flavor, or just various iterations of that, and it's like, and then I realized after looking through my material, because I did a lot of material, not all of it's bossa nova by any means, and I don't know if anyone would like necessarily think that from seeing a performance, but I guess we do the best we can. Sorry, I went on a tangent there.
No, it's perfect. And I see where that kind of description comes from, having seen your stuff. All of your lyrics were very personal, it felt like to me. You had like introductions, and I think at one point you were singing about someone in the audience. So what is the writing process? Where does the content come from?
Oh yeah, I mean everywhere in my life. I mean, and other people's lives too. I mean, one of the songs I played at that show was about a boss of mine who quit, and just about like, from my point of view, his marriage dynamic and like the socioeconomic sort of principle, like element of that, of like how we're all supposed to have these jobs that end up taking up most of our time, but then and then we're also supposed to have families and whatnot and be there for our families, but it's like all kind of impossible to be perfect and have it really work. I guess as I get older too, I tend to write about society and the world around me and politics, but I don't want to write about politics in a real political way. It's more like people's lives and how we're all affected by the world around us. And I'm just the person that I know the most, so I write about that the most. Of course,
yeah. I heard a phrase, all violence is political violence.
Yeah.
So I think, their personal lives, that is what politics is these days. So you said you've been playing music for a long time. When did you get your start? What was the start? Where was the start?
So I've moved around a lot as a kid, but I've lived in LA for the longest of any place. Okay. But before here, this time, because I lived here in the early 2000s as well, but moved around. I moved here from an alpaca farm in Sandy, Oregon. My parents moved there because it was cheap rent. They always wanted to come back to California, where I'd kind of grown up, and that's where I started like actually playing the guitar that I had gotten years prior that I didn't have the patience to learn until I was a teenager, when I started to like develop a sense of self and be like, I guess that would be cool to have this skill. It was a small town, so that was where I went to my first open mic, which was at a tea shop called Charities. And I actually didn't sing yet. I wasn't comfortable. I was a very shy kid, and I hid behind my guitar a lot. But I picked up a lot of different instruments, and I would just kind of play instrumental stuff. I hosted a jam session at like this community space where people would just roll in and jam with me. It was pretty dead, but it's cool that I did it, I think, and I look back fondly on it. And like, there's this time that I think I was between 13 and 15, like that age range, This like 8-year-old kid rolled in and played like a bunch of Jimi Hendrix songs, and it was cool.
How do you not love that? You've got it. That's awesome. There's a open mic I go to that's comedy, and there's like a 16-year-old who comes with his mom.
Yeah,
and like
I was that kid. Yeah,
it's good. I once saw a 10-year-old do a set at like a real club and just kill it.
Yeah,
like, totally brought the house down. It was wild. So you say you hosted a jam session at that age. Have you kind of gone back to hosting at all to kind of, and if so, what was the goal?
Yeah, I've fallen into it a lot. And I want to be more intentional about it. I would like to have another thing, but kind of just ends up happening. So let's see. In my early 20s, I had the realization that as I was playing shows that maybe were poorly attended and the lineup felt incongruous, that I could just book the lineup myself. And so I started booking shows that, for me to play, and showcase my stuff. But I booked everyone else because I was like, also, I know the people who are friends with each other, we're all friends, we'll all go to the show, we'll stick around for the whole show, we won't just leave after it's done. It is a good way to do things. It makes for a great time. Sometimes I do feel like it can be make for a bit of a bubble, and it's nice to get outside of that as well.
Sure.
But yeah, that's how I got into booking things. I was booking at a place called The Other Door pretty consistently. And then I did start booking shows where I wasn't playing in it, because then it was like a lot of work, and I was like, well, it's better if I just don't play because I don't have to worry about that. Yeah. And that's what sort of happened is then, like, I never intended to be a promoter, but then I just was one for a bit without having particularly wanted to be one. Recently, a couple of years ago, I guess, I was involved with the Writers Round LA, and that was a good experience. Again, I was just going, and then Greg, the guy who runs it, asked if I wanted to be a part of the team, so I did, because I was like, okay, and I helped book a little bit. And then I started an offshoot open mic there on Sundays, which only ran a few months, and it was pretty small. The venue was having trouble with sales, as it's kind of how it is right now. It's actually tough to have a thing right now, I think. But it was kind of short-lived, but it was great while it lasted, and I wrote a song about that as well.
So in the city, in the mics that you go, is it kind of exclusively music focused, or are there any mixed mics with maybe poetry, comedy, that sort of stuff?
These days, yeah, but when I was younger, the first open mics I went to were more mixed, especially the first ones in LA specifically. And let's see, the first open mic I went to in LA was at, I don't know if you know the Promenade Mall in the Valley. Yeah, that's like dead now. There's nothing there but a PF Chang's, I think. There used to be a place called Rock and Roll Pizza, which was pretty fun, and especially having just come back to LA, it felt like the most LA thing for like a 16, 17-year-old kid.
Right.
And yeah, I played that. That was fun, and I think there was some comedy there. It was mostly music. But then I also after that, I started going to Soapbox, which was an open mic run by a guy named Jason Brain, who now lives, I think, not outside of LA, but that was in Tarzana, I think, at a Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, and I loved the way he did it, because it would be a clipboard, you'd sign up, and there would be 3 categories, musician, comedian, and poet. And I remember the order, but it was so that, like, whatever you were, you pick a category, and then if the list is full, like, ideally, it would be different, like, it would be shuffled, so
right.
You're not just having a bunch of music, not just a bunch of comedy. And
right.
Yeah.
I saw there's a mixed mic I saw that's slotted, so you've got to kind of put yourself in, and it's broken down by category like that. There's clowning, there's like all different sorts of stuff, right? But it says, like, once a category is filled, please don't sign up, only sign up for what you want to do. And so the comedy gets booked immediately in this town. And, like, day of the show, the music slots are still open, whether they're for whatever reason. And so I'm like, can I just, like, bring my guitar and strum some chords and tell some jokes or whatever? But I'm trying to honor you know, the host and the venue and all that stuff. So, so a multi-instrumentalist, you started pretty young. And I mean, you said in your teens you started with the guitar.
Yeah. And
was that the first instrument that you kind of took seriously?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was the first instrument I truly wanted to play, just because my dad played it.
Gotcha.
And it was all around the house. So yeah, I mean, I always wanted one of my own. And when I was 8 years old, I got one, but I just could not get into it. It's a tough age unless you're going to, like, physically force a child to learn an instrument, which some parents do, and sometimes it creates geniuses.
Right.
I'm glad my parents didn't force me, because then I did it later. And I dabbled in piano around the same time, and I still can, like, as much as any singer-songwriter can, like, for production purposes. But I've never played piano in a band before.
When you're writing, do you write on guitar or piano?
Guitar usually, but I have on piano whenever I have, like, I don't have a piano set up right now, so not as much right now, but I've definitely written some songs on piano and then transferred them, and sometimes vice versa. I play Irish penny whistle. It's a folk instrument. I played that for about as long as guitar as well. I just started picking that up again, and it's been a crowd pleaser, because I'll just kind of riff. Especially with, like, a mic with a lot of echo, it's very atmospheric and cool.
Very cool. And then are you self-taught? I'm hearing maybe.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
but I also, that's a tough thing to say because it's like, yes, I started out self-taught pretty much, and I would go on YouTube and like look at videos, and which, you know, is sort of someone teaching you, because there's a few tutorials out there, but I'd also listen a lot and try to copy what I was hearing. That's what I still do. You know, my ear, a lot of musicians can't read sheet music, and I can in theory, but I don't like to. I studied music theory at Pierce College for a bit, and that's where I really, it took me up a notch. That was really helpful, and that's also where I started getting deeper into jazz. And I think I did that because I wanted to get deeper into jazz and understand jazz and how to play jazz better.
Right. What's your favorite mode?
I mean, so I've just come back around to Dorian, actually, because it's so useful, and it's, I don't know, it's actually really cool, and it's really groovy, and yeah, you can do a lot with it. It sounds boring, but...
I'm a sucker for Mixolydian. I just,
yeah,
you know,
Mixolydian's great, too.
And then my mom's into Phrygian. Yeah.
Your mom is into a mode. I don't think my mom knows what any of the modes are.
My mom, when my mom retired from her rabbi position, her stand-up career really started taking off, and then she's been doing music the whole time.
Oh,
so
wow.
She's super creative. First guitar I ever played was her. It was a Jasmine nylon fat, you know, kind of fretboard.
Yeah.
I think I was like 10 because I got my Squire when I was 13 for my bar mitzvah, and I feel like I had been playing for like 2 or 3 years by that point. But it was like, literally, I'm playing like Blink 182 on a nylon acoustic and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
but that she's a driving force in my creativity for sure, and we're gonna have her on, by the way. But very cool. So, okay, you're doing mics these days. You're getting some booked shows, and have you found that the transition from open mic to booked? I mean, what drove? Like, when did that start, and kind of how has that transition kind of been going?
Gosh, I don't know. It's been so long. Yeah.
I mean, were you getting booked shows when you were younger?
So, yeah, I think my first booked show was, I might have been 16 or 17, maybe 17.
Yeah.
And it was at a place called Guitar Merchant in Canoga Park. I grew up in the Valley, if it isn't clear by now. But yeah, and that was I was on the hook for like 10 tickets. It's my first, pay to play right off the bat. But yeah, that was, and I don't know, I think they found me online on Facebook, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
So it was a bringer. You had to sell 10 tickets.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Well,
Gotcha.
no, I mean, it's playing as well, but
Right.
but I had to. It was like, you know, playing the whiskey or whatever, but on a very small scale.
It's you know, I'm doing stand up out here. Like, I'm trying to kind of avoid the bringers, the pay to play.
No, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that at that age and at that stage, for a while after even, I was under the impression that was like what was standard, and that's what they would like you to think, but it's not sustainable.
It's a little predatory.
It is
on
predatory.
Their part,
it really is.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, but so, okay, and you are a multi-instrumentalist.
Yes.
Did you have or do you still have other creative pursuits, or is it really, are you just staying in the music lane right now?
No, actually, well, for a long time it was the music lane, and right up until the pandemic, and then, you know, everything came crashing down, and I was like, oh, my life is over. Like, I don't know what, my entire personality collapsed a little bit, but I actually think it was really healthy too, because I went back and sort of picked up a lot of my old things that I still really liked. I just had been so focused on music for a long time, and I had been around that time wanting to write a book, and I did. Throughout the pandemic, I wrote a novel. I finished it like a few years ago.
Yeah.
It took me 3 years to finish, and it's like 90,000 words.
Jeez, that's congrats.
Thanks. Yeah, and I was trying to get it published, but I kind of stopped for a while, and I am trying to work on a different one, and I want to get one published eventually. But it's certainly harder for me than making music. Making music feels like pretty muscle memory at this point. Like, I can just kind of put anything out, and like it's still, you know, I need to have something, like the lyrics take time, I guess. But getting started is easier with music, whereas I tend to get pretty bad writer's block with writing, and I might write 400 words at a time and be like, that's it for now.
It's a slog. I mean, I think a lot of stand-ups, it's funny, a lot of bad stand-ups are writers because they don't have the performance chops, you know, so like they write good jokes, but they can't kind of get it out.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm doing writing as well, and there's days where if I get half a page done, I'm feeling good. Like
Yeah,
I worked on it today, you know, so you can't take the little victories, and, you know, starting something and finishing it is, you should feel very proud that you got that book out of you.
I do, somewhere, sometimes, yeah.
And then self-publishing, you don't want to...
No, I actually might. And I was even thinking maybe, especially this first book, because maybe it's just my first book and it'll be just like, whatever, and maybe I'll make something better later, and maybe I will self-publish it, maybe I'll put it up on like my website online or something, maybe in installments. Maybe I just want people to read it. I don't know. I've had a few people ask about it, and I've thought about just sending anyone who's interested the manuscript, because whatever, you know, it's the same. People, you know, as artists, we're lucky if people ever want to listen to us, and so sometimes I just think, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, release chapters as a blog or something. I mean, there's ways to kind of get it out there. And, okay, so obviously, you know, we're focusing a little more on kind of comedy. This show is in general, but so I'm curious, do your friends think you're funny?
Some of them. I mean, I don't know. I think I tried to be funnier when I was younger, and actually, a funny thing, my first like foray into doing sets of my music, I was like, well, I have to have something in between.
Yeah.
You know, as an icebreaker or like whatever, you know, because it can't just, you know, blast through or have dead space and whatever. So I actually did tell jokes and like little anecdotes, and I remember, I think I still have the files where I wrote down, all right, I can talk about this thing. So I kind of wrote miniature stand-up for my sets when I was younger. And now I guess I kind of do that intrinsically, but I also don't feel the need to try so hard to be funny.
Yeah.
Because like, and I think it works better for me because if I can really just get people to be present with the songs and like the weight of the material, I would prefer that to be what speaks for itself.
And a lot of times, I mean, it sounds you'd like to be authentic.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Authenticity, you know, is at the core of anything funny.
Yeah.
You know, I think so. You're definitely kind of tiptoeing around it for sure. But that is very fun. So at the mics that you do in town, I'm curious, kind of what are you looking for in, like, what makes a good room and what makes a room kind of more difficult to play in?
So the best ones are obviously where people listen, people tend to listen. People go, with that mindset I mentioned before, not just to be heard and then leave, but want to stick around, want to meet people. It should be a social experience. And yeah, good sound, decent sound is a plus, but it also doesn't have to be perfect. And I think that sometimes people expect way too much out of sound at open mics. I also think that the space is really important. And I like, my idea for like the perfect open mic is, you know, the social aspect, but also the space is like, there's a main room, there's a main room, there's like a bar, but then there's like the front row area, but then there's the bar area where you can kind of be at the bar and talking and ordering drinks and watching, but not part of it. But then there's also a back patio. So you can completely be away from it and like tune and like be alone and like also take a breather in between sets and whatever.
Like a de facto green room or something, just to kind of clear the headspace. Gotcha, nice. And then how much does like the host affect kind of the room?
I think, I mean, a lot. And I think a good host is, someone with some humility who can, and who's also chill and fun and approachable too. You have to be approachable. I worry that I'm not a great host, but I do have people come up to me who remembered my open mic even for the few months that it was, and they're like, oh, are you gonna do another one? So that's sweet. It just isn't something that I feel super comfortable with internally, and I have to like put on a lot of, I don't know, not a front exactly, but like I have to like suit up for it.
Right. Well, I mean, but you don't have to suit up for your sets or anything?
A little bit, but Yeah, a little bit, but not as much, no, because it's just sort of like, I guess now it's like, hey, I like these songs. I wrote these songs. They mean something to me. Here they are, and that's what I'm doing. So,
So I'm sure this exists in stand-up. It's pretty apparent when it's happening. We can talk about bombs for a second.
oh yeah.
Right? With comedy, you're getting the instant reaction of the joke. I think in the comedy open mic rooms where you're performing for other comedians, there's like a kind of disconnect between the laughs that are coming back and what would actually work in a club for a real audience.
Yeah.
I'm not certain. I feel like music is a little different, because polite applause, like it's clear when a song's ending, there's no punchline, that hits or miss. So have you bombed?
Oh yeah.
What kind of, how do you know you're bombing, and how can you kind of pull yourself out of it a little?
So I think, the music world is interesting and different because people are a lot more polite to you when you bomb in the music world.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. And actually, something that puts me off sometimes of the comedy world is I find comedians to be pretty mean.
Not this comedian.
Yeah, no, you're very lovely. But musicians are just secretly mean.
Yeah.
They are passive aggressive.
Yeah.
But they'll be like, oh, it's so great. And I try not to be that way myself. But they're also supportive, but then, so when you're bombing, you're not remembering, they'll be like, like clapping, like, oh, you can do it, and stuff like that, which is great. It still doesn't feel great because I know that I'm not doing it the way that, and I want to play something that, wows someone, obviously. So, but yeah, so bombing in a musical sense at an open mic, and then also, bombing in a show is different because if you have people who are just there who want to be entertained, yeah, you start to have people just talking, not paying attention to you, and stuff like that, I guess. Yeah, but you were talking about the difference between comedians at an open mic versus like audience members, and
Right.
Yeah, I do feel the same way about music, and sometimes it is nice to play. Like Porch Fest was great because I could see a lot of reactions from people who do a lot of other stuff and are not just kind of doing the open mic music circuit.
Right.
And it's helpful to have both, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you said, you mentioned your favorite open mic was what was it?
School of Song.
School of Song.
Right now,
right,
anyway,
yeah.
and at the Fable in Eagle
And so
Rock.
what's great about that mic?
It's a supportive, cool group of people, and the space happens to have all my specifications. It's got a patio. But yeah, the people are really cool, and also like everyone is really talented. I don't know. Sometimes there are just places where it feels like people are inspired by each other and are seeking to be inspired and are seeking and are like trying to be great and good, which I don't like to talk about that so much because I think that all this stuff is so subjective too. But I do think that, like, I've obviously been at some open mics where I was just like, I can't listen to this, like, and I don't feel that way about the Fable. So,
I've heard, and I do believe that kind of your set starts the second you walk into the room, right? You're kind of creating the image a little bit, and it's, it goes into it. So the question is specifically about fashion and style.
Okay.
When you kind of prepare for a show, whether it's booked or an open mic, how much energy are you putting into kind of picking out your wardrobe, and kind of what do you think it does for you? What are you doing with those decisions?
I guess it's changed a lot over the years, and back and forth. But yeah, I mean, I just like to feel comfortable, but also like, cool. Myself, and like today. I don't know, today I'm wearing. This is a jacket that my partner designed, Michelle, and this shirt too.
I love the jacket, by the way.
Thanks.
But,
yeah, I love it too. My mom made this hat.
Nice.
I mean, at times I've had like more of a uniform, and for a while I was doing the whole, like, I was going to do like the suit thing, as in like a suit and tie, and I might want to do that again. Yeah, it's a good look, and it sort of means, hey, like, I respect what I'm doing, and you know, that's why the Beatles did it, I guess. But I don't like to be super limited. I guess I just have a few different types of outfits for a few different types of situations, and a lot of it's whim-based.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's clean? Right?
Yeah.
I like, sometimes I'll wear a suit when I perform just because I like ska.
Oh, yeah.
So over the years that you've been doing these mics, whether local or otherwise, have you seen people kind of grow and, you know, take off or really explode or anything like that?
Yeah, a little bit in small ways. Yeah, I mean, I've met people who've had stuff in like TV shows and stuff, and who have gone on tour. Although going on tour means something very different these days, I think. And sad to say, I've never gotten to experience it, but I think it's a lot harder now. And in general, all of it's a lot harder. And what it means to blow up is also pretty different too, I think. But yeah, no, people have definitely.
It's like, oh, I had a meme made about me. I'm famous now.
Yeah, you got, you're a TikTok thing or whatever, yeah.
So, I've seen some people throughout my days in comedy kind of, get late night host sets and I could tell beforehand. I kind of knew. I was like, you're doing it right. You're doing it enough. You're doing it, hard, right? And so sometimes I struggle with kind of comparing the progress that they're having, whether it's because they're putting the time in or something. Do you kind of have ways do you experience that, and how do you cope with kind of other people's progress?
Yeah, well, it's really tough. I think we all agree on that. But I think that, I think the hardest thing to realize, but it's really great once you do, is realizing the things you have done not wrong, but how maybe you aren't putting in as much time, and it might not be your fault. Like, we all have stuff going on, and that's why it actually is a privilege to get to make art, and I think that everyone can and should. And my parents would draw with me and stuff as a kid, and I think that's important. But also, there's a certain level where it is about how much money you put into it, but also not just that, but how much time you have to put into it. But also, I'm starting to realize that I didn't always know what I was doing, and you know what you're doing, and if I had gotten picked up in the past when I saw these other people getting picked up, that wouldn't have been me now, and I'm not proud of. I'm proud of it, I guess, but it's not. I don't stand behind it really the same way, and so I think you just have to be okay with kind of constantly coming into your own until someone notices and is like, "Oh, I like that."
All art is a journey of self-discovery.
Yes,
that's why I do it, is to learn about myself. And
honestly,
I don't know if I could deal with fame.
I know. I don't think I want. There's a certain level that would be nice to reach just to be comfortable, but I don't want to be a public figure really.
Right.
I just want to be fine, and I would like people to care about the things that I make on some level, but I don't. Yeah.
I just want to improve one life and pay my bills. That'll be good.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Would you say right now? People say it's tough in LA. Like, it's not the right scene to start.
I don't know. I've had so much more experience here than anywhere else that it's hard for me to I don't know what it's like that much elsewhere besides the small town in Oregon that I was there for a bit. So maybe I can see how it is tough because that's what I know that's tough. But I don't know what's tough about the other places.
Right, or what would be easy.
I don't know what's easy. Yeah, they say that there's more paid gigs out of town and stuff. And I don't know. I think that one thing people say about LA that I think is a positive or negative, however you look at it, is that there's a lot of people doing this, and so there's a lot of talent. So it's easy to not be noticed,
right.
But also there's just so much stuff going on, which is pretty cool as well. So
we're missing 30 mics right now, as we're recording this. So.
Yeah.
So on those lines, would you say that LA in general is more supportive or competitive?
I don't know. I don't think that any place is a monolith. And I also, like, the minute we start saying that LA is this or that, LA is, then that's, I mean, it really is whatever it is in whatever little pocket of LA you're in, because there are so many different little pockets. I don't like, there's certainly a vapid sort of image that we have, I guess, and some of it is true, I guess, but also some of it is only true because we feed into it and we sort of recognize it as being true. But again, like, there's different layers, and I don't know, you just have to kind of, I'm trying to just be comfortable existing in the world that I like and that fits me and not worry about the sort of evil levels, I guess. Yeah.
I think for me, kind of the way that manifests is like the barter system in creativity, where it, you know, hey, what can you do for me?
Oh yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, I think we've all encountered that, and it also sucks because that knowing that that's a thing, you go into all these situations sort of wondering what people are hoping to gain out of it, or if anything's, you know, legit, or you know, what people's intentions are. And yeah, that's definitely something I still struggle with. And so it makes it hard to accept praise. It makes it hard to open up to people because, yeah, there are some predatory people, as we talked about with like pay-to-play stuff. There's predatory people out there, and yeah, it's hard to navigate. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten like whether it was advice or like a note after a set that kind of actually worked, that you took?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe just like, I don't know. I mean, I think not being so apologetic on stage, or like being more confident.
Okay.
I mean, and like, yeah, you really do just have to be more confident. Like, and I don't think that like a lot of people like to do the shtick of like I don't know, being very meek and like, oh, you know, but like, no, you really have to, because because like the audience has to feel comfortable and like they should like it, like, and so whatever it is, even if you suck, I think the hard thing is you still have to pretend like you're doing really great.
Right, right. I think with bombing, that's kind of the struggle. And I'm trying to like imagine a musical bomb. Like if you bail on a joke, for example, and stand up, like that's kind of going to lead to bomb. But if you bail on a song, like who's bailing on a song?
Well, sometimes it's if you really just didn't rehearse it well enough and you
Right.
just can't play it, or you just mess up a lot.
Nerves,
I mean, bailing on a song is just it sounding really bad and you forgetting things, forgetting words, forgetting how to play it, not being in sync with the rest of the band if you are in a band.
Oh no, I'm in the wrong key.
Yeah.
Had a thought. Do you have any questions for us?
Where are you guys from? New York, I think you said?
I grew up in Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
And then after college, I moved to New York. That's where we met. And now I'm from a couple blocks south of here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did a little, you know, I started doing stand-up in New York.
Yeah, so what's because you might have more experience outside of LA than I do. What's your experience with open mics in New York or Connecticut?
Yeah, so when I was doing open mics in New York, it was mostly through a school where there was like some sessions I did. I got embedded with the school as the videographer, and so he was giving me free, you know, sets at kind of bigger, that my live audience stuff was through the same barter system, right, where I'll film the show, but I want a set. And, you know, so there's, predatory is the word we've used. I want to have producers and venues come on the podcast because I don't understand how they're making money. I don't understand why they're hosting mics in the first place, especially if it's not a pay-to-play mic.
Well, often, so I do know some of that, and that's that, I mean, ideally, you're bringing in enough people that the bar is making a lot of money, and you're maybe getting a cut of the bar sales. That's kind of the most common thing.
I think with stand-up, I mean, the shows I'm going to, like, comedians are broke.
Yeah.
So they're not
So are
spending
musicians,
money,
yeah.
right? And it's getting a live audience at a comedy, like just a generic open mic. It doesn't really happen here, you know, in like, I don't want to make fun of a town, but just imagine any town anywhere is like, you don't have the Comedy Store, you know, and, you know, the Greek, whatever. So like an open mic might actually be a good option for entertainment. And to actually get real audiences at the open mics.
Interesting.
And I talked to those comics about, like, who are you performing for? There's no one in it's kind of New York and LA where that's you know, that doesn't apply for the most part. I think themed nights, you can kind of draw some in if it's like LGBTQ and it's like a community event or something like that. There's opportunities. And then my sense is the mixed mics, like you get like foot traffic and, you know, I want to do a little bit more mixed mics just to kind of challenge myself and kind of see what those are about. But it's fairly similar in New York, just because it's the talent level, the talent volume, and the venue volume, you know. But I also, you know, I'm asking people who host, like, how did you get started with hosting? How did you approach the venue? I'm getting really interesting answers, and I don't know that those answers can work here.
Oh, interesting.
I think what works here is like, you know, it's, I don't even know. It's like you sell tickets or I'm really, really, really funny, right? Or I'm a great musician.
Well, it's like a catch-22 because it's, yeah, you have to have shows to have shows, you have to host, and it's like, you know, yeah. But yeah, I don't know, like the way that I've done stuff is falling into it, I feel like. So yeah, it is difficult to think about how to start new things because it's just like everything just bounces off of everything else. You kind of just have to try things out, I guess.
I agree, and I mean, outside of try something, like no advice it fits all.
No, and I actually hate it when people try to give advice, not across the board, but just like specific advice to young creative people. You know, like, this is how you make it, this is how you do this, because no, you know, we're all just falling into it and figuring out what works for us.
And what would you tell a young creative that asks you how to make it?
I would say don't try to make it because you're probably not gonna, but I think you should. God, and also I guess I hate it when people say that too, so here we are. But no,
that was a setup.
I mean, no, I mean, I would say just keep doing it, and try to stay in love with the craft, because that's the most important thing. That's why we all do this. Like, I'm going to keep doing this craft for the rest of my life because I have an interest in that craft and I have a respect for that craft and I want to see where it takes me. And that's really it. You have to just be willing to see where this takes you.
Yeah, yeah. I believe you.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any interesting or fun kind of pre-show rituals?
Let's see. I mean, I used to like grab a drink somewhere. I used to like to walk around a bit. Sometimes I'll do that, walk around. I like to have a lot of space before a show, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but nothing like crazy. I don't know.
What about after a show?
Just relax and like enjoy maybe whoever else is playing in that night, or grab some food or something.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you were mentioning like networking at open mics.
Yeah.
Do you like actively kind of pursue that, or just kind of let it happen naturally?
I think it's best to let it happen naturally. I hate networking, and I hate it whenever it's like everyone is consciously networking and you can tell. I hate that so much. Yeah. So no, it's better. I mean, I do tell myself, you gotta get out there. Like, you can't just show up and then leave, because what are you gonna get out of this? So I try to put myself out there, and honestly, it's like being in school or something. It's like, you know, every time you go to an open mic, it's like, who do I sit with? And like, you know, who am I gonna be friends with? There's all these cliques, there's all this. And that's really just what it is. And again, yeah, it's like, you gotta network, but you also have to completely kill the word and the concept of networking, because it's just meeting people and talking to people and seeing if you like people. And like, if you don't have to like people, and people don't have to like you.
It comes back to authenticity.
Yeah.
Just gotta, you know, if that is what's driving you, then
yeah.
Yeah. That is fun. Dave, did you have any?
Yeah, I would say, you touched on drinking. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
We've asked a lot of people. You know what the question is. Yeah, I don't need to ask it.
What do I?
I can ask it.
Well, yeah, you should ask it, but ask it, so we can edit around it.
Right.
Yeah.
So as my producer David was just asking when I was flubbing, you had mentioned, getting maybe a drink, kind of cool your nerves, something like that.
Yeah, but that's in the past more so. And yeah, I don't drink as much as I did when I was in my early 20s, as I'm sure is true for a lot of people. And it doesn't necessarily, I mean, yeah, it's nice to have one drink. And for a show, especially if it's at a bar, then yeah, I like to have a drink, I guess. It's nice too, but that's, yeah, I mean, pretty much it. And it's not necessary, really. And it doesn't necessarily help. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have a preferred poison?
I like beer mostly these days. I still don't like whiskey a lot, but I haven't had liquor, and I don't remember the last time I had liquor. So like, I generally drink beer when I'm out. Yeah.
Where does gin fall?
Oh yeah, well I did write a song called Gin and Ginger. So is that where that came from?
That is.
Yeah. So I actually wrote that. I do like gin a lot actually, and if I get a martini, which I do love martinis, I like a gin martini as it's supposed to be actually, a dirty gin martini. So I have a few different types of drinks that I'll get depending on how I feel. I love Negronis too.
Sure.
I like things that are, like I love, I actually like to cook and I like tasting things, and so I like things that are flavorful and out there and medicinal tasting.
Yeah.
I end up drinking beer most of the time because it's cheaper and it's not as strong. So if I am trying to do something, then it doesn't take over my night. But the song Gin and Ginger, I wrote that because of somebody in the past who I drank gin and ginger with. So it's more about that than like me particularly loving gin and ginger.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. I think it's so interesting, the kind of consumption, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's personality type or just kind of the field we find ourselves in and the nature of being that vulnerable or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I perform sober because I want to be doing the best that I can. And not that I'm not nervous, it's just I don't think the payoff, I don't think it calms the nerves as much as it makes me forget the joke I want to tell, or something like that. But I think it's pretty apparent with like rock stars and some of the big comedians. I mean, there's folks up there with beers on their stools and stuff like that. And I'm trying to, this is a question I have is like, what other professions can you think of where you get like paid in the thing that's going to make you
worse?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it is too bad. Kind of, it's a little toxic, I guess, how wrapped up in it. And I think Porch Fest was cool because it was so divorced from even the idea of bars.
Right.
And I'm not sober. I don't have any plans to be. And there was a time where I liked to party a lot, and I just still do sometimes. Yeah. But one thing that was tough having my open mic was that, we had some sober people come in, and it's like they're supposed to buy something at the bar, and it's like the sodas were really expensive by that point, so that they would be spending money on something, and like I guess you have to spend $8 on a soda, and like the bar is hoping people are just gonna naturally want to like party and drink, but people are trying to like ideally perform. So yeah.
I go for the ginger. Gin and ginger hold the gin. So
yeah.
Sweet. What are you working on? Any new songs right now? Have you got kind of what's kind of driving your creativity these days?
Actually, I have one in particular. I'm almost done with. Sometimes they take like a day. Sometimes they take a little longer. Like it's basically I just need to write another verse, but I don't want to force it because like it kind of came out really fast and it was it sounded bad, but yeah, it's I'm writing a song right now, and it's about wanting to be small, and like I kind of wrote it based on some feelings I got from a job that I have that I'm hoping to quit kind of soon, and just like egos at work, and like I don't know, people develop egos over the stupidest stuff that none of us even really care about, but we just sort of I don't know, cling on to something.
Well, I have a podcast. How do you know when you're working on a song? How do you know it's ready for the stage?
Well, when it makes me feel something, when it feels like when I basically put into words exactly what I was thinking or feeling, you know, because I do write songs that I actually don't have a very strong connection to, and I'll play them for people, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's really great," but I'll be like, "I guess." And so then I kind of have to be pushed to play those songs, I guess, and sometimes I will, sometimes I'll develop a fondness for them, but usually it'll be something that I almost feel like I have to get out, you know, I have to, and that's when it's ready. And then it can not be completely finished, like I might even add more later, but like if there's at least, you know, verses and a chorus and I feel like it makes me feel something, then that's when it's ready.
Nice. Oh, that's our
it?
light. And that means that we need to take that again.
Oh.
Just say it. That's the light.
That's the light, and I don't want to gain a reputation of running through the light. So.
It's going too fast? Is that what it is?
No, it's okay. So, at a comedy show, you get 5 minutes, and so they throw the light up to indicate when you're done. So we're doing.
So funny because we doesn't do it.
Yeah, right. So the gig has ended, is what it is.
Oh,
but
okay.
I want to thank our guest today, Jacob Zuko, for stepping up to the mic.
Thank you.
And I want to thank everyone out there who's still chasing stage time. I've been Isaac, and we will be back next week with more stories from the scene. Thank you.